Hi everybody and welcome back for our fourth horn lesson. It's very exciting. Today is a bit of a review lesson just so we can catch up on everything that we have learned about the horn so far. So, you took your horn out of your case, you undid all your latches and you took it out very carefully. You put your mouthpiece in, you did a quarter turn, and your horn is all ready to go. Remember, these are called valves. We're going to be using them today. These are your slides. They go in and out, but you want to make sure they have about this much room. And then this is our bell. This is where our sound comes out of. Double check your hand position. Go in to shake somebody's hand. Goes in and it presses against. And then my friends who are resting on the leg are resting on the leg. And then my friends who are off the leg are supporting it with their first knuckle right here. Cool, basic review of the French horn. Now we're going to go over our buzzing and tonguing technique. So real quick, remember, and we're building up some nice firm muscles right here in our corners. If we were a dog, we'd have whiskers coming out of right there, but we do not. So we have our firm corners, we have our steady chin, and make sure your chin stays steady as you play the French horn. I know it's super easy to just say, oh, my chin's steady, and then you go to play and your chin goes, and it starts wiggling all over the place. And we have relaxed lips, so we're able to make our buzz. So let's really quickly just blow air through the mouthpiece. Nice. And now let's blow through the air. Let's blow air through our mouthpiece with our embouchure. And now let's blow air through the mouthpiece and slowly bring our lips together so that they form our buzz. It doesn't matter what pitch you're on for this part, but let's really quickly it doesn't matter what pitch you're on, but let us do a call and response tonguing on our mouthpiece on whatever pitch you want. So I will play and then you will play what I did. Let's spice it up a little bit. Now, these aren't going to be rhythms that you've heard before, but it's going to be very fun, I promise. So buckle in, let's get ready for some harder rhythms. That one again. If you're having a little bit of trouble with that, try taking the mouthpiece off and saying the rhythms. Making sure you feel yourself saying two, 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 two. And I promise it'll clear itself up on the mouthpiece. Now we're going to go back onto our horn, plug your mouthpiece in and do a nice quarter turn. Get your hand position ready. And remember, I know if you're holding on to the bell, I know if you're just kind of shoving it in there, I can hear, I promise. So now we are going to do something called a long tone on our G, which we learned last lesson. So a long tone is essentially a long note. We're going to play the note for a while and we're going to use our ears and we're going to listen to how it sounds. Like this. One more time. Try this time with me. Cool. Let's see how long we can hold that for. Remember, we're taking a nice deep breath, filling up our lungs, not moving our shoulders. Now, you know how we did that call and response on the mouthpiece? Let's see if we can transfer that technique to our horn. So I'm going to keep time. Oh, I'm going to get up my metronome again. Now we are going to do our call and response again, but this time on the horn. So I will play and then you will play. Your turn. Let's play very quiet. Really loud. Fun rhythms. Remember that's toot 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 toot. Toot toot toot. Nice job. Now we're going to learn some new notes. This whole time we've been playing just G, but I would like to learn F and E. I have prepared a handy dandy chart again. So we have, up here we have G. This is what it looks like in the staff, which we talked about before, but this is how music is written out on paper. Just like you have the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, and you use it to spell words, we have the staff and notes to spell out our music, our melodies. So here's G. It lives on the second line. Notice that there are spaces and lines. So our G is on the second line up. And then we play G open, no fingerings down. So this would be your first valve, this would be your second valve, and this would be your third valve. Our next note that we're going to learn today is F, which sounds like this. Da. Oh, maybe not. Our next note that we're going to learn today is F. It lives on the first space. So right under the second line is our first space, and that is where F lives. It's okay if you're not totally understanding this by now. Music is a language, and you know, when you're a baby, you don't learn English overnight, just so you won't learn music overnight. So F is our first valve. First valve is written up over here, and this is what it'll look like when you play it. So that'll be the very first thing that your pointer finger touches will be down to play F. I'll go over this again, don't worry. This is E. All the way down here, we have E. E lives on our first line. So under F is E. And then E is also played open, just like G. So that's why it's sometimes easy to get a G out and an E out instead of a G. It's because they have the same fingering. All right, now that we know what G, F, and E look like, let's see if we can play it. So can you play me an F again? So can you play me a G again? With a nice 2 attack when you start. Nice. Now we're going to put down our first finger, and we're just going to see what comes out. We're not going to change anything. We're just going to put down our first finger, our pointer finger, our first valve, the very top one. Here we go. Kind of play around with that. Maybe wiggle it up and down and see what comes out like this. Blowing a steady stream of air through that G. We're just putting down valves that are going to they're going to change our sound. Playing a G and putting down your first valve. All right. I think you've all got it. Now we're gonna go one down from that, which is gonna feel a little weird because what we're gonna do is lift our finger back up again, and we're still gonna go down. We're not gonna play that G. This is what that's gonna sound like. You're kind of relaxing your air going through your instrument. You're just letting it relax as you go down to that E, and the note will come out. Trying that again. Also, you may see my fingers flying up. That's just to help you remember where the fingerings are. It's kind of like a nice sigh. Going down to that E. Try it again. Cool. If you ever enter and your note kind of sounds like just take a deep breath, try it again, and I promise it'll probably come out the second time. Horn, don't tell anybody else this. Horn is the hardest instrument. Professionals, people who have been playing for 30 years will still miss notes just because it's kind of difficult. You guys got it. Everyone's got it. So let's see if we can start on E. It's going to be a little difficult, so I'm going to play the note and see if you can play it eventually line up with me. One more time. You have to hear it. If you just go in thinking, oh, I'm going to play an E, you might get a G. So you really have to think about that E in your head and then play it, especially when you're beginning. Let's try that again. Let's see if we can start right on E, and then maybe we'll add an F, go up, and then go up to G. Here's E. To go back up, I really want you to think about speeding up your air, getting it excited again after we relaxed it down to play that E, and it just goes, I'm gonna play the G. Let's try that again. Starting on E, working our way up to G. Remember, the fingering is open, one, open. And then going back down, relaxing our air as we go. Awesome job. Really quickly, to reinforce this, take out your mouthpiece. We're gonna play these notes on our mouthpiece because this is our instrument, believe it or not. And this is just the megaphone that attaches to our instrument and makes it sound louder. So here's a G, what it sounds like on the horn. Now we're gonna play that on our mouthpiece. Now we're gonna go down to F. One more time. Now we're going to go down G, F, E. We're going to play E, and then we're going to go up to F, and then we're going to play G. Awesome job. Let's try that one more time. I want you to just have it very slur and connected, and I don't want the notes to sound right away. I want to hear all the things in between them, like this. As opposed to, I want to hear all the junk in between. Here we go. It's a little difficult. It takes a lot of air. Feel free to breathe when you need to. Going back up from E to G. Takes a lot of air. One more time. Awesome job. To wrap up, we're going to play that all again on the horn. You guys are going to be experts at G, F, and E by the time we're done with this. Here is G. Try to match. With me. We're going to go down to F with first finger. Now we're going to go from F. Keep that pitch in your head. We're going to go from F to E. Here's F. Remember, G is open, F is 1, and E is open. Let's try that together. Here's G. Going back up from E to F to G. Let's see if we can do that a whole bunch of times in a row. Like this. Together. Please breathe when you need to. All right, and I'm gonna challenge you guys. I wanna see if you can go from E to G. Really helps if you sing it. That's gonna be open to open. So no F in between, no 1 in between, just open. And then you're gonna tongue the G to get that G to sound out. Here's E. Match me. Here's G. Here's E. That's a really good thing to practice for the next lesson, is going from E to G without stopping. Without throwing that F in between, I mean, because eventually we're going to have something called an etude, which is French. There's a lot of French in music. Etude is French for a study, so a lesson. So it's something that applies directly to the horn or any instrument. It's something that applies directly to the horn or any instrument, and it helps you focus on certain skills. And what our etude is going to focus on is leaping in between the notes, because that is something that every French horn player struggles with, I promise you. So we did a quick review of our buzzing and our instrument parts and assembly. We did long tones, call and response on our mouthpiece and on our horn. And we learned 2 new notes today. We learned F and E. Next time we're going to learn C and D, and we will be all ready to play our etude. Thank you guys.